Sam is working from a coffee shop, and the first thing he does is join the free Wi-Fi called coffeeshop_guest. Somewhere in the back of his mind is the old warning that public Wi-Fi is dangerous, that anyone sitting near him could be pulling his passwords straight out of the air. At the next table, Kim, a penetration tester the cafe owner actually hired to test this, is about to find out how true that still is. Years ago, that was all it took. Most websites sent everything as plain text, so someone on the same network could open a tool like Wireshark, watch the traffic float past, and read usernames and passwords as they were typed. But the web changed. Almost every real site now uses HTTPS, the encrypted connection your browser marks with a little padlock. And when Kim captures the air today, Sam's bank login arrives as unreadable noise. So if listening no longer works, the real question is how Kim still walks away with Sam's password before the coffee goes cold. Quais hides the contents of Sam's traffic, but not the shape of it. Kim's capture can't read the messages, yet it shows every place Sam's phone reaches out to. Each time a tab or an app loads, the phone first asks a DNS server for an address. And on an open network like this, those requests often go out in the clear. So Kim watches the names scroll by, the bank Sam uses, his email provider, a fitness app, the login page for the company he works at. He can see the size and timing of every connection. And any older site still running plain HTTP hands over its contents in full. None of that is a password. It's a profile. Inside a minute, Kim knows which services Sam actually depends on and which one is worth going after, without ever touching the phone. Passive listening stopped being the theft a long time ago. Now it's the reconnaissance that decides what comes next. The move Kim makes is small but complete. He stops listening to the network and becomes it. His laptop broadcasts its own access point using the exact name of the cafe's coffeeshop_guest and pushes it out with a stronger signal than the real router in the back. And this is the flaw the rest of the attack leans on. Your phone doesn't recognize a network by anything solid, only by its name. It remembers the ones it has joined before and reconnects to them on its own without asking you first. With a short deauthentication burst, Kim knocks Sam's phone off the genuine router, and the phone does exactly what it was built to do. It goes hunting for coffeeshop_guest and grabs the strongest one it can find, which is now Kim's. Nothing appears on Sam's screen. He's still reading the same article, still connected to the same network name, except every byte he sends now runs through Kim's machine on the way out. Purpose-built boxes like the Wi-Fi Pineapple, or plain software like HostAppD and Airbase Pixinge, turns setting up that twin into a few minutes of work. Kim doesn't even have to borrow the cafe's name. Your phone remembers every open network it has ever joined, and it will reconnect to any of them the moment it sees that name again. Some of those names sit on millions of phones. The ones from big chains and carriers like @Wi-Fi or a national coffee brand's Wi-Fi. So when Kim broadcasts one of them, phones around him attach on their own to a network they think they know, in a place none of them have ever been. The older and broader version of this is the karma attack, where the device answers yes to whatever name a phone asks for out loud. Modern phones now hide those requests and rotate their address to blunt it, but a remembered name is still all it takes. So Sam's phone can attach itself to Kim, believing it found a network it already trusts. The name is the only proof the phone ever checks for, and Kim gets to choose the name. Being the network still doesn't break HTTPS. Sam's bank connection is just as encrypted running through Kim as it was through the cafe router. So Kim doesn't fight the encryption at all. He gets Sam to hand the password over on his own. The moment Sam connects, a page opens by itself, the captive portal, the sign in to continue screen we've all been trained to accept in airports and hotels without a second thought. Kim's version looks right, and it asks Sam to confirm his email and password to get online or to continue with Google. Or it warns that his browser needs a quick update first. Sam types his real password into a page Kim wrote. On today's public Wi-Fi, passwords are almost never pulled from the air. They're typed into a convincing box the attacker set in front of you. A tool like Fisher ties the whole thing together, pairing the fake network with the fake portal, so it fires the instant someone joins. There's a second route for the person who won't type into a portal. When Sam goes to log in somewhere himself, Kim can try to keep that connection from ever turning encrypted. A tool called SSL Strip, written by Moxie Marlinspike, sits in the middle and rewrites the links coming back to Sam. So Sam's browser speaks plain HTTP to Kim, while Kim speaks HTTPS to the real site. Sam gets a login page that behaves normally, just without the padlock he was never going to check. This one used to be devastating, and it mostly isn't anymore. Browsers now ship with a list called HSTS preload, a register of major sites that may only ever be loaded over HTTPS. So for a bank or a big email provider, the browser refuses the downgrade flat out. What still works is the long tail. Smaller sites without that protection, apps that don't check their certificates properly, and lookalike domains, where Kim uses DNS spoofing to point a familiar name at his own server and serve a copy. A tool like BetterCap runs the spoofing and the stripping from a single console. Whatever Kim ends up with, the password from the portal, or a session cookie lifted from an app that never bothered to encrypt it, he doesn't use it at the cafe, he uses it that night from his own machine at home. From the services side, there's nothing to flag. The correct password arrives, or a valid session token saying this person is already signed in, and it proceeds like any ordinary login. The email password is usually the one that matters most, because the inbox is where every other account sends its reset link, so a single login quietly turns into all of them. Nothing warned Sam, because by every check the system knows how to run, it was Sam. Two small pieces of trust carried the entire attack. Sam's phone gave its traffic to whatever answered to a familiar name, and Sam gave his password to whatever showed him a login box. The defenses that actually change the outcome work on exactly those 2 points. A VPN wraps everything above the network in its own encryption, so a rogue access point sees nothing but a tunnel it can't read or rewrite, though it does nothing about a password you type into a portal yourself. Passkeys close that second door because there's no password to phish and they won't sign in on a domain that isn't the genuine one. Turning off auto-join and forgetting old networks stops the phone from silently reconnecting to a name an attacker can put back in the air. The open network was never really the danger, trusting a name was. If this makes you think twice the next time your phone joins a network on its own, subscribe and stick around, and I'll see you in the next one.